This community is by far and away the most responsible pet owning community I've worked in the many years of being in animal welfare. It probably doesn't occur to most people that our community deals with abuse and cruelty towards animals. And as the facility that investigates those cruelty cases and handles those animals and cares for those animals, it's our job to know about that side of our community that does exist.
4 a.m., Officer Hannah Posey got the call to assist the police. Owner was being arrested, some drug-related offense. We picked up Blanca, and that's when she noticed all the injuries, and not just one accident, multiple injuries over time, healed, some fresh. It was shocking, and that is when she started that cruelty investigation and notified veterinary services. What they discovered was a dog that was suffering, and it was so young and so helpless that it needed to be rescued.
When Blanca first presented to us and we saw the extensive nature of her wounds and the type of wounds she had, our immediate concern was that she had been abused. The distribution of the wounds on her abdomen and under her arms looked as if something had been potentially splashed or spilled on the skin and caused the burns. And she also had a circular burn on the side of her chest, and given the size of the wound, it seemed to match perfectly with something the size of like a cigarette lighter from a car. And she even had several wounds in her ear. One of the ears was injured so badly that it was essentially folded over on itself, and there was actually a small hole through the skin of the ear. And she had several teeth that were injured as well, essentially that were knocked out of place. So we had to imagine that not only was she scared and fearful, but that she was also in a lot of pain. And we also did use some pain meds and antibiotics to help prevent any further infection and obviously provide her with some pain relief. But that care was ongoing for several weeks. Blanca was difficult to treat just because of her behavior. She was so scared, likely because of the trauma that she had suffered. So she was very scared of us, to the point where she was trying to bite.
This puppy is only 2 months and is already aggressing, and so quickly. It was just by approaching or walking by her kennel, she would run up, start barking, charging. So of course that's concerning for us, just because everyone thinks of puppies as being these happy-go-lucky, fluffy things, and to having to see this poor little Chihuahua that is just in the back cowering.
We really had to practice a lot of patience with her. With every animal that comes to us, we practice individual care, so we adapt to the animal's needs. In Blanca's case, that meant that we just had to really slow down, take our time with her, and work with her.
Her previous owners were essentially failing her. They weren't getting her what she needed. It's just like with babies, they need interaction, and she just wasn't getting that, which is not fair because that's not setting her up for success. The most aha moment, like, oh my gosh, she's turning around, she's making improvements, was I was just doing a daily walkthrough and she immediately approached the front and was tail high, wagging, ears forward, and gave me a couple soft barks. And at that moment I knew, I was like, okay, you've made your path to recovery. We're making improvements with your behavior. With Blanca, we had to make sure that her forever home was a really good fit, because this poor puppy has been through so much in just 2 months. We wanted to ensure that we found a really good fit for her and that it stuck.
So we got together and decided to send an email with her description and picture and story to a trusted group of our donors and see if any of them might be interested. We have really good relationships and know this group of people fairly well, and felt fairly confident we weren't going to run into anybody who might come across the folks that used to own her. And through that process, we had several people who were interested in her, and our client services team and our development and marketing team worked together to find the best match for her.
She really did need an adult family that would be able to handle her in a gentle way that kids might have not been able to. So we did let potential adopters know that she might not just be a bubbly, happy dog. As soon as she got home, she might need a little bit more care and love and patience.
Well, when I first met her, she really didn't climb up into your lap. It took a little while. She roamed around the room a little bit, and then when she finally did come up, it felt good. It was nice to see that she would warm up. From then, we brought her home. As the weeks have gone by, she's gotten used to me and Nancy. Of course, her scars are healing well, and even her emotional scars, I would say, are healing well. When she sees me come home, she wags her tail and just jumps around and is glad to see me. I look at Sweet Pea and Blanca. They are family. They're not pets, and so it's great that we have them in our family, and we love them.
You know, in Blanca's case, if she hadn't come to us in the condition that she was in, you know, I'm not convinced that they wouldn't eventually have killed her with the injuries that she showed when she arrived.
We worked with the DA, we worked with the investigators, we worked with police to make sure that this was a strong case and Blanca would never be put back in that situation again.
Sometimes pets need us to protect them. Sometimes people need us because suddenly they can't care for the animals that they have. But fortunately we were here, and fortunately she did get the help she needed, and is a spunky little adolescent at this point in time. I would hope that with continued support, maybe we'll have more success stories coming from cruelty cases in the future.